So this is Dr. Kalu coming to you with a health topic on eating colorful foods, phytonutrients. Sorry for the little gaffe right there, but I'm talking to you today about phytonutrients. And phytonutrients, why they are important. I'm not going to go through all of the phytonutrients, and I'm not going to go through all of the colors, but phytonutrients, we're talking about eating by color, okay? So when we talk about phytonutrients, we're talking about getting down into the nitty gritty of the foods, basically plant-based foods that you want to eat, and it's dealing with eating by color. So today, we're going to only just focus on the red foods, okay? And why the red foods are important. So phytochemicals, phytonutrients, they are very important to your body. They build your defenses, and we need, actually, in this day and age, in this time of the plague and COVID and all that's going on, we need to keep our immune system strong. We need to have our beta carotenes in our body, which comes from the red foods, okay? So red foods help reduce the risk of chronic diseases. And some of the compounds, or what we call phytochemicals or phytonutrients, phyto is spelled P-H-Y-T-O, phyto and then nutrients, or phyto and then chemicals. Those are the nutrients that you find in the food, the basic chemicals in the food, and they're known as your anthocyanidins, your astaxanthins, your carotenoids. Most people are familiar with the carotenoids because that's the red pigment, okay? And your carotenoids because of carrots, okay? Giving the carrot that red pigment. And you hear that word more frequently than you hear anthocyanidins, and astaxanthins. You don't hear those very frequently. And ellagic acid, the flavones, lycopene. You may have heard the word lycopene now, especially associated with the eyes because of the tomatoes, okay? And most people, we eat a lot of tomatoes in society. Everywhere you go, you see tomatoes. And in some cultures, they eat tomatoes more so than in other cultures. But lycopene is mainly associated with tomatoes. And then you've heard of quercetin. If you have any inflammatory conditions, by now your doctor would have recommended, or your nutritionist, like such as myself, would have recommended quercetin, which that chemical has been extracted out of different foods and concentrated into a pill or a capsule. And you can get quercetin, which is a good anti-inflammatory if you have conditions such as arthritis, any itis at the end of a body, at the end of a word associated with some pathology going on in your body. Like, so if you have something in your bone, your joints, then they're going to say it's arthritis, which is a mucus condition in your joints, crystallized mucus in your joints, okay? So I'm not going to get into the whole biochemistry on that side right now, but we're looking at the biochemistry of the foods based on the phytochemicals and phytonutrients, just so that you can get the right foods into your body. So today we are focusing on red, okay? My motto is live long, live strong. And you will live long and live strong if you put the right foods in your body. So I know I've been away from this. If you look at my video timeline, you're going to see a long gap. So right now I'm coming back to you. I've got little things resituated, so now I can get back to my studying and teaching and educating. So I'm starting here with, well, if you see, you'll see I started to take a weight loss journey, but I'm not one to have a camera in my face around me all day and all the time trying to videotape what I eat and stuff. So sorry about that. Sorry about that gaffe right there. I'm not going to take the video down, but sorry about that. I started one thing and I stopped. So teaching and educating and coming to you with the subject is my thing. Okay, so red foods. We have like apples, We have certain beans that are red, like azuki beans. Those beans you don't see around often. You have beets, red beets. You have red bell peppers, okay? What these foods do, they are protective. They are anti-cancer. They help reduce the risk of cancer, okay? And they can stop the growth or the metastasis of the cancer cells, okay? They can stop them in their tracks if you eat the right amount of them and you eat good red fruits, okay? There are some red foods, sound like a little tongue twister. There are some red foods that you really do not want to put in your body unless they are organic. I should say certified organic. There's the Environmental Working Group, the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, and every year or two they come out with a list called the Dirty Dozen, and then they also have the Clean 15. So you can look that up. But the Dirty Dozen foods, which they say are strawberries, there's many of them, but I'm only going to bring out the red one since we're talking about red today. Strawberries, red apples, red-skinned apples, cherries, grapes, tomatoes, and the red-skinned potatoes. You want to buy organic, okay? If you can grow your own foods, that's even better. The way society is headed and the way they're treating the earth, the ground, you want to actually really have your own garden or join a community garden group if it's possible and feasible for you. You can grow strawberries in your kitchen on your windowsill. You can grow tomatoes on your windowsill. Just need like a, well, maybe not windowsill, but on your balcony. And you can grow potatoes, okay? Stick a potato full of eyes, just stick it in some dirt. Well, of course, you need organic, you need food, and something is in my eye. I don't know why, it's just that bothered me, so excuse me for all this blinking. But apples, no, you really can't grow that, and you need an orchard for that. And grapes, you need a little orchard for that as well. But those things that you can do at home and in your garden, on your windowsill, on your balcony, you want to do that, okay? Then you know you really truly have organic food. Or start a community garden if there's not one, or join one if it's possible, if at all possible, and convenient for you. But red foods, these phytonutrients that I mentioned, they are protective for your heart, they are protective for your brain, they are protective for your immune system, okay? And they're protective for your bones and your muscles. So you want to buy them, you want to eat them. There are different ways to cook them. Now, tomatoes, good tomatoes, organic tomatoes, go to your local farmer's market when they come back, open up and they're back in season, usually from April through November. You can get your tomatoes there. Now, some people warn against cooking tomatoes, but my experience, personal experience with cooked tomatoes is I see a difference in my skin, my eyes. I've seen the difference with that I get by eating cooked tomatoes versus raw tomatoes. Even though I eat them raw as well, because there are some nutrients that you get raw from the raw tomato, and there's nutrients that you get that's more developed when you eat the cooked tomato. So I do tomato soup periodically, and I've seen it move great things. I had some brown spots in my sclera, which is your sclera tells you what's going on in your liver. Okay, that's the white part of your eye called the sclera, S-C-L-E-R-A. That tells you what is going on in your liver. And I had some brown spots in my sclera. And I eat tomatoes all the time. Okay, I drink tomato juice. But when I did tomato soup, that stuff started moving, and my eyes cleared right on up. I was like, whoa, Nelly, look at that. It's really working. So a lot of things I bring comes from experience with myself, with my clients, and not just textbook or Google search, whatever. I work by experience and trial, not error, but trial and error, or, you know, you're working things out and you're researching, you're writing it out, you're tracking. So I have a track record, okay, with my clients. I have a track record with myself and with the use of these healing foods, just basically fruits and vegetables, okay? There's certain ways you have to eat vegetables. We'll get into that in another day, to get the benefits out of it, because we're not cows or horses, and we don't have horse teeth or cow's teeth or 3 stomachs or 2 stomachs to really digest and get the nutrients out of it. So there are ways you have to work your vegetables in order to get nutrients out of them. But fruits are very easy on the digestion, and the fruits are the cleansers of the body, and they easily impart their nutrients to us. Okay, so one of the main nutrients that you get out of some red foods, well, tomatoes, I mentioned lycopene out of tomatoes, okay, and that helps reduce the risk of heart attacks, okay, and you also get lycopene out of watermelons, okay, and so you want to eat those 2 things. Now, there are other nutrients in them, of course, but the main nutrients, the lycopene, that is necessary and is good and is beneficial. So if you're having issues with your heart, even metabolism, liver, you want to down some tomatoes and other things too. I'm not saying that you can't have other things, but tomatoes is a good fruit. Okay, tomatoes are fruit. Anything with a seed in it is a fruit. So tomatoes are fruit. Avocado, that's a fruit as well. That big old stone, okay, or a seed, that is a fruit. Then you have your anthocyanins, or other phytonutrients that you found mainly in your berries, like your raspberries, your blueberries, your blackberries, okay, and your strawberries, and you can find that in cherries and your cranberries, okay, and your red apples. So this anthocyanins are all so good, and that's protective. That gives you your antioxidants, and that's protective